There you go. Now it's running.
Flashing means not record.
Yes.
Not flashing means record.
That's right.
Solid light, I guess, not flashing.
Yes. So we are at episode 50.
Episode 50, 50.
Did I send you the notes? I actually made notes.
You did not send me the notes, but that's okay. You can send it to me now while we're sitting here. Episode 50 is not as special as it should have been because we went to a 2-week format, so we rushed to 50. It doesn't mean we're at almost a year now.
No.
Still a pretty decent milestone.
Good.
Yeah, well, it's still we're at 50. It's cool. We made 50 episodes, and people are still listening for some reason. So, hey, thank you for listening to 50 episodes of our
Hey, there was somebody else
or at least
here.
49.
So we've got returning guest. Jordan is here.
He now holds the record for most times on the podcast, which he
the
already
third time?
which he previously held before.
Going for the high
But
score.
now he's just
running up the
He's
scoreboard.
running up the score.
Oh, wait, we already did... See, I was like, is this the second time or the third time?
No, this is the third time he's been here.
Ooh.
Because he came by after we did something. Worked on the car or something, worked on
I
your
don't
truck.
remember.
Let's go back to the tape.
Yeah.
No, we're not actually going back to the tape. Look it up.
Yeah. we don't care. You probably shouldn't either.
So it's the big
It is his third
5-0.
time.
Just
Yeah.
cut that and edit it back like we know what we're talking about.
We've never cut and edited anything, which is
No.
obvious if you listen.
That's right.
So, yes, welcome to episode 50.
And you are back in New England, Jordan.
I am.
Because you were on a 3-week overlanding off-road trip
Did we
to
talk
Colorado.
about that with anybody? Did we bring it up?
We talked
kinda?
about him leaving for it,
Yeah.
but we didn't. We kind of casually mentioned it. I didn't want to be like, "Hey, our buddy's not in his house for 3 weeks."
Yeah. His name is Jordan. Look him up.
Yeah,
So that's a valid point.
yeah.
There's nothing nice there anyway.
Everything you own that's nice was with you in the
It was
truck.
in the
Yep.
truck.
Yeah. Like your laptop, or your camera,
Yeah, all the
your
good stuff.
dog, and that's all that matters.
Yep. Everything else is easily insured and garbage.
Yeah. Well,
So I made a bunch of questions. We're gonna spring some gotcha questions on you.
Oh no.
on Jordan,
Yeah, just about the trip.
did you just send me the?
I just sent it to you.
All right, I don't have it yet. So,
So prepared.
yeah.
Yeah, really prepared.
Real prepared. Is that your alarm, Andrew?
That's mine.
Wow, this is a golden episode already. I love it. Hold on, I'm getting in there now. Invitation to edit.
A
There you go.
professional 50 episodes right there.
That's right.
Nobody said we got
What do we-
better
No, but you did bring us beer
from Colorado.
I did from it's Odell, right?
Odell.
Yeah, Odell Brewing.
Fort Collins, Colorado. So you can only get that in Colorado.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I got
I haven't
it in
seen it.
Colorado.
I have not personally seen
We've got
it.
this new Total Wine place. I don't know if that's nationwide.
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's
No,
this
the one in Danvers is
insane,
only in Danvers.
insanely large.
Yeah.
Like
you been
liquor
there
store.
yet, the one in Danvers?
Not in Danvers. I feel like there was one in Springfield when I went to school there.
Maybe. It's ridiculous. It's like a warehouse full of booze.
Yeah.
They
pretty
have
It's awesome.
everything that you could possibly want. Like it's almost too much. You're like, I don't know what to get.
Well, when you type the word total into Google, wine is automatically generated, so it's probably a bigger store.
Must
than
be
we
an
have.
It's because
nationwide
it's
chain.
listening to you. You know that, right?
Yeah, it probably is, yes.
Yeah.
But the microphone, however, is turned off in the computer.
You
So
think
it's just
that?
listening through Andrew's phone.
Yeah, you
There are
think that.
162 locations of Total Wine, so
Okay.
it's not just up here, I guess. But no, it's a ridiculous liquor store.
Oh, these are all Odells. So you brought a Goza, actually. I think Goza or Goes.
Yep.
It's
Goes.
it's-
Actually, it says on the back of the can.
It goes like it's a Porsche.
Goes. Yep.
Porsche.
I always forget, and then I'm like, wait, it's Goza.
That's a good marketing thing that somebody should do.
Yeah.
Porsche goes so you can pronounce it. And
Well, we
people
had
know how to
last week.
pronounce
We had Unita, Ready Set Goes. Goza.
it. Wow, that was quick.
Oh man.
Andrew has no short-term memory tonight, apparently.
Nope.
All right, so I have the episode notes up now. Now we can officially start. Well, I got a lot of questions on there.
I did.
Oh
It's
god.
pretty good.
Not a lot, but
Pretty
we'll
good.
probably
Are you ready for the
roll
test?
into them.
Are you ready for the
Yeah,
test,
just do a
Jordan?
pop
Or did you
quiz.
spend too much time at breweries and forget everything
I
about
spent
the
all
trip?
night cramming.
Okay,
Yep.
good.
You did bring back a sweet mustache.
Yeah.
Well, he went away with it, too, but it was hidden with the rest of the beard.
That's right.
So, actually, the first picture you posted on Facebook of your trip, it was like, or Liz posted.
Yeah.
It was like,
Well,
everybody was like, "Whoa, what the
I was
hell
trying
is
to
that?"
keep it a secret until I got to the wedding I was going to.
Yep, but then you kind of screwed up because you.
I
Posted,
didn't screw up.
No, you did because you posted a picture of her sleeping first. So her picture was in retaliation.
Okay, that checks out.
So therefore, you screwed
That's
up.
fine though.
I mean, I was fine with it because there's a good Smoking the Bandit vibe.
Yep.
It was. It was. You definitely had to go on. If only it was in a Trans Am instead of a.
Proper road trip mustache.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
Pretty, it's pretty epic.
You do have a CB in the truck, so
Yep.
That's true. Anyway, so we're here to talk about Jordan's trip today. We don't have any project car updates because we haven't done anything, I don't think.
No, not in 3 days.
Yeah, well, we recorded the Monday episode on a Sunday night, so we really haven't had...
There's not going to be many project car updates in the next, 10 days because it's my wedding, so I don't have much time to work on a car.
I'll be sure to do something.
You can try to do something.
I don't know what, but...
You can weld my rally car exhaust for me.
There you go.
Where am I going to do that, though?
I don't know.
Do it in the driveway.
Wherever you do all your other stuff.
Driveway. You try welding outside?
No.
It's a hurricane coming, man.
All right.
The wind makes it almost impossible.
We can make space for it.
If a fly flew past while you were welding, the wind from his wings really screws up with the welding gases.
We'll see. Maybe Saturday afternoon we can do something. I should have some. I might have some time.
I'm not worried about the time. I'm worried about the place. We need a shovel.
Do you want an easy up
working place? Does it have sides?
We can make them.
If an easy up with sides would work, but you can't.
Well, we have to get under the car, and we got to cut the heat shields off.
Okay.
We might. I don't know if it's even easier to take the whole downpipe off.
I remember.
It's not hard.
I don't know. I remember taking a downpipe off your car before. It was kind of a pain, wasn't it? You did have your car already?
Yeah, we've had it off
mine's been on and
4
off so many
times.
times.
Yeah,
by
that's
now.
no problem then. Yeah, we can take it off.
You might
It's probably
actually.
easier
We
to
don't even have to disconnect it at the. We can take. If 3 people, we can disconnect the downpipe and then pull it off the hangers, take the whole exhaust out,
just do it on the
and
floor.
lay it on the ground.
Yeah, it's probably the easy way to do it because then we can just bring the whole thing in the garage with it, even if there's no space for a car.
Well, we'll just do it
bring
on the lift and then lay it on the ground. And it's even easier because you're just grounding it. You're grinding it,
Grounding it.
grounding it, and grinding it.
You are
right on
grounding
the
it
ground.
because you have to ground it to weld it.
Yeah,
So technically, you are correct.
yeah,
You have to ground the part.
yeah. That's right.
So you weren't wrong this time, Andrew.
All right, so that's that plan there. Because otherwise, your other option is I have a catless one sitting in the garage there. You can
Yeah,
have.
but then I have to tune it, and that's
It is like a
lot of
whole
money.
thing.
Yeah.
It's more money, and it's also questionably legal.
Yeah, I don't care about that so much. I don't.
You're on the air right now, recorded. You
It's
care
fine.
about the legality.
I mean, I live in New
know it
Hampshire.
doesn't- know it
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
care.
Now they know where you live, so now you're screwed.
I have the catted downpipe, but that's going to go on the other car. The
On
blue
your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not going to run the catless one on your car, obviously. 'Cause
No.
It's a stock, regular WRX.
Yeah. I'm going to go to stage 2, bro.
You're already stage 2, bro.
No,
So
it's
you
stage 1.
Is that was that what the stages are? Downpipe stage 2?
Yeah, yeah.
Does that mean by the time you get a muffler on there, you're stage 7? how does this work? 'Cause there's one part of the car now.
Stage-
One part is stage 1.
Stage 2 is the downpipe and exhaust.
Okay.
And mud flaps.
It's already got mud
Mud flaps is
flaps.
stage 1.
It's stage bro.
That's stage 1.
Stage, bro.
Stage bro.
Is that before stage 1?
I ordered my vape pen from Amazon.
Yes, of course you did. Stupid Subaru owner.
Well, I need to check.
Actually, there's 2 of you here today.
there's-
Yeah.
Stupid Subaru
You're
owners.
outnumbered, man.
there's
Going
a
home.
actually there's an evap leak. So with my vape, I'm going to blow it into the filler neck and check for leaks.
Oh, that's how we can fix Joe's car, too.
Yeah,
Because he has the EVAP code.
yeah.
We all do.
I don't have one because I don't have a Subaru. So,
Yeah.
therefore, I win now.
You don't have any.
Actually,
codes
I
at
think all 3 cars had downpipe leaks.
Okay.
All 3 cars have evap codes, and they're all similar years and mileage. So I guess that's a case
Do
study.
you know how I solve not
in-
having EVAP issues?
What?
None of my cars have EVAP systems.
None of your cars have OBD2.
None of my cars have OBD1.
Your vehicles are carbed. They're not carb. They're not carb compliant. They have carbs. That was a terrible
That was
joke.
an awful
Oh,
joke.
Man.
That was even worse.
I liked how you just let him hang on that noose. It didn't help him out at all.
I didn't know where he was going with
Yeah, I
it.
like that.
And honestly, I mean, what would friends be for if we didn't let each other hang it on the end of a
I'll
bad
see
joke?
myself out.
Yeah. It wasn't an inappropriate joke that had to be edited out of the podcast, so you just let it fly.
Gotcha.
Let everybody make fun of him while they're listening. So we have some questions for Jordan
Yeah.
today, I think, don't we?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to talk about the trip that you just want to talk about off the cuff before we get into this, or before we make it like an interview format here? Because you've never had like a true interview on the podcast before.
Yeah, we did. We went over all his car history. the
Yeah,
first one.
still, we didn't have like questions planned out.
I don't know. I don't think.
I think we'll cover a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure as you
All right.
ask questions,
Well, let's
things
start.
will come up.
Well, I wanted to know is what got you interested in visiting Colorado, especially driving there.
I don't remember when it was, but like many moons ago, I saw pictures of Imogen Pass in Ouray, which is it's like a 4x4 trail that goes up over the San Juan Mountains. And the peak is like 13,000 feet or something. And ever since I saw that, I started like learning about the area and all the 4x4 stuff there. So that was kind of the driving force behind it.
What part of the state is Imogene in?
It's in San Juan County, which is like on the southern middle area.
Sounds like Mexico.
What?
Sounds like Mexico.
No.
Well, I think it was all
San Juan
Spanish.
is.
I think it was Spanish territories.
I mean, I know he's Colorado. I would like to point something out really quickly before
What's
we
that?
get too into this.
Mm-hmm.
You convinced me to drink a double IPA.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you told me it was a low alcohol content.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And then I took one sip of it, and I was like, there's no way. And I just looked at the side of the can, and it's 9.3% alcohol content.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it's pretty much as high as a normal canned beer will ever be, almost.
That was like the
it's
great-
a smooth 9%.
It is. It tastes delicious. I just was like, I shouldn't have a lot of beer tonight. And you're like, I was like, I shouldn't have a double IPA. And you're like, oh, it's a low alcohol content double IPA.
It's just a small can.
Yeah.
Now, stupid me should know that there's no double IPA that's going to be a low alcohol content. I
Nope.
just wasn't thinking. I was like, all right, that's cool. So, anyway, next question. I apologize. I just wanted to point out that
So there's all those 4x4 like those like mountain passes there. I guess it's kind of interesting because that I think we were saying at one point. Maybe we were talking about Mount Washington. Maybe that was the last episode you were on. That it's like double the height when you go out there.
Oh, yeah.
And
Mount Washington is what, like 6,000 something?
6,000 something.
Yeah.
And the tree line's at like 4,000.
Yeah, that was the weird thing. Like,
Tree line's a lot higher up there, right? Like you're basing at like 5.
yeah. No, it's like when you start getting into
Like Denver is in
where
like
the
5,
mountains
right?
start, it's like, I feel like it was like 7,000. And the trees go up probably to like maybe like 11 or 12.
That's so
depending
weird.
on where it is. Like we went up, there was a paved road that went up Mount Evans, and I think that was like 14,000 something.
Yeah.
And it was like all up the top of that was like Mount Washington, where it's all rocks and no
Yeah.
trees or anything.
Yeah, you didn't make it to Pikes Peak, right?
No, I drove past Pikes Peak, but after driving up Mount Evans, I didn't really think it was anything special at that point.
It's basically like a big highway that
Yeah.
drives.
I think at this point it would just be more of a, I did it.
Yeah, I thought about it, but
Yeah.
I think we were trying to go to Colorado Springs before my girlfriend had to fly home, so we were kind of in a rush.
Didn't have time to make that stop. I guess it's probably the tree line is different because it's probably based on the surrounding area because the tree line is probably affected by wind.
Yes.
So if the base area is at 12,000 feet or 7,000 feet, then it's going to be like almost being at sea level out here as far as the wind affecting the tree growth is. And then the further the peak goes
That seems to make sense. I'm not a geologist.
Yeah, I'm not a arborist.
Arborist.
I don't
You
know.
get both of them covered there. You're with the mountains. You don't know anything about mountains, apparently, and he doesn't know anything about trees.
I don't know anything about rocks.
Based on that conversation. But yeah, no, that seems to make sense to me anyway.
All right, we'll go with that for now.
Yeah.
Somebody can correct us.
They shouldn't have to because I'm pretty sure that's right, Andrew. I don't open my mouth unless I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
You were on the record.
I'm also drinking a 9.3% alcohol.
You've had
beer.
like
So
3 ounces.
It's beer logic.
I know. I'm just trying to make an excuse for my stupidity.
Yeah.
And nobody out there knew that.
They do
all
now.
they knew is I could have been done with it by
Wow.
now. So
Well, I don't know if these are in the exact best order, but we'll just go with them anyways because I kind of wrote them as they came to the top of my head. But you spent 3 weeks on the road in a Nissan Xterra.
Yep.
And you used a rooftop tent most if not all of the time.
With the exception of 2 nights in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Because I had a wedding to go to, and we had to sort of be presentable.
Yeah.
Every night was camping in the rooftop tent.
So what's that like for 3 weeks in a rooftop tent?
It's pretty comfortable overall, but I mean, it's still roughing it for after a few days. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's camping.
Was it campsites or just remote camping?
It was both. So a lot of nights we went to national forest,
Yeah.
like built campgrounds where it's just like, sites and some pit toilets.
Okay.
like the place that we went in Vermont at the when we went with the Montero guys.
You mean when we camped in someone's front yard?
The next night, though.
I don't remember the second night.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember we drove around the little circle? And the guy gave us beer for wood.
Oh, yeah. Same exact thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you camped there the next weekend.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. you were there 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, it's been
Remember those 2 weeks of your life?
It's been a few.
You've been camping all the summer, so
Interesting
they probably
weeks.
blended together, right?
Yeah, probably.
So there was a few days of that, and then what's cool about out there is so much of the land is owned by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, so you can just take all these roads out into it and just camp anywhere off the road.
Do you need permits?
Nope.
Not for anything? You build a fire?
I think you might need a permit for like ATVs and stuff, like unlicensed highway vehicles, but
Okay. Like a registration, probably you need out here.
yeah, I don't know, but no, you can just drive out there and camp.
Interesting.
I wish it was closer to here.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I remember we dealt with that a lot when we were in Arizona at the Prescott Rally. We were just noticing that it was just like it's all land owned by
There's like city
government.
limits, and then it's just like public land. Like,
Yeah, and you just go out and do
Yeah, like
pretty much whatever you want to do. Mm-hmm.
yeah, like driving. You'd be driving down like these long paved highways, and there's lots of little offshoots, and it'll be signs that say like public land access road. And once you turn down there, you can pretty much just camp anywhere on the land as long as it's not marked specifically that you can't.
That's pretty awesome.
and then this is all in like used one of those Del Norm atlases.
Yeah.
Atlas books.
I used the Atlas, and I have like a mapping app on my phone where I downloaded a bunch of GPS tracks for lots of trails in
Yes.
Colorado.
So it works off of. You can be off data.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, you download the map ahead of time, and then you have everything saved.
Does that work out here too?
Yeah,
So are the trails mapped in like Vermont, New Hampshire?
Oh,
Maine,
so,
or
I
it's not
mean-
as much.
you can get the trails and stuff out here, but it's a lot more difficult. Like you have to know people, or
So it's not just public knowledge like it is in Colorado.
right, yeah.
well, like here it's the secret, right?
Like
You don't-
I use the website called traildamage.com,
Yeah.
and they have like pretty much the entire state of Colorado and Utah,
Yeah.
like sorted by county and stuff, and they have all the GPS tracks and like what the trail is like, and like mileage markers for.
So last time
Locations.
you and I went on a 4x4 trip, we came back saying we're going to move to Vermont. Are we going to move to Colorado now instead?
I would rather move to Colorado at this point because there's so much more like accessible land, and you can just do whatever.
It's weird the like mental reset you get when you go out west because it's just so much bigger.
Yeah, the
Yep.
scope of everything is so much
And like
larger.
you're not in a tunnel of trees. It feels like sometimes here, like you're just driving. You're driving the highway. It's just a tunnel of trees.
yeah,
And you go
and
west.
you're-
It's just the vistas. You can just see.
whether you're in western New Jersey or northern Vermont, when you're on the highway part at the
It
spring or the fall,
Seems the same.
it looks like the same landscape. Other than there's more mountains when you get to Vermont. That's
Yeah.
the only difference. But yeah, it's very different. I remember that was one of the first things I noticed on my first West Coast trip was as you would drive down the highway, every hour or so, the landscape would change drastically. Like the rock formations would change color,
Oh yeah,
or like it'd be just desert, and then all of a sudden you'd be mountains, and then there would just be sand, and it was just a weird, strange change of things.
yeah. I actually
And you
remember
could see it all instead of the trees.
one of the first nights we were out there. We camped on this trail called like Little Muddy Creek or something.
Okay.
And it was like kind of out here, just like a muddy trail and then trees.
Mm-hmm.
And in the morning when we left, it took us probably like 3 hours to four-wheel out to the road. And we went like, you get to the end of where it's like mud and trees, and then all of a sudden you're in like these rolling grasslands, and then half an hour later you're in like a rocky traverse, and then it turns into like a birch tree forest, and then you're back in like pine trees.
Birch tree forests are the best.
It was so
really cool.
weird.
There's not that many out here because
No, there's not.
there was like there's some bug or something that
Killed all the birch trees.
killed all the
in
birch trees around
Northeast.
here. So
Yeah.
they're very rare actually.
Actually, isn't it illegal to like strip one that's live?
Yes.
Like Maine
Yep.
and New Hampshire.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very endangered.
Out here anyway. Out in Colorado apparently they're.
No, it was just like huge birch forests. It was crazy. I'd never
awesome.
seen anything like
Yeah,
it before.
I'd like to see that in person.
And these
Seen
trails
pictures,
were
they're
like-
awesome.
I mean, everything required 4x4 or like
No, I mean, I didn't do too much crazy stuff
'Cause you're
I
by
was
yourself,
By myself,
yeah.
yeah, and I don't have like a winch or anything.
yeah.
But like some of it I would just do in two-wheel and then a lot
Fire road style.
yeah, and then like some like loose boulder trails, but small stuff, and then like a lot of it, like the mountain passes, you needed a low range to get up.
The mountain passes were fairly hairy.
Yeah, like they were. I've never done anything like those before. Like I did Ophir and Imogene, and you're going up these like really long, steep shelf roads with just like thousands of feet drop to the side of the car. And like out here, if you make a mistake, you crush some body panels or something. But if you make a mistake out there, you're rolling down thousands of feet of mountain.
So it was like kind of like the roads when ice road truckers went to India. Did you ever watch that show?
No.
Oh. They had those mountain passes, and
It's like the Bolivian Death Road.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what I was
All right.
thinking of most of the time.
That's probably a less obscure reference.
Yeah. So like, you'd be going up this road. Did you come across like people going opposite traffic or come up behind other traffic?
When I was on Imogene, there was a lot of two-way traffic.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to be paying attention, like way ahead as far as you can see to see if anyone's coming. And then like,
You need to plan passing points. Right?
yeah, like sometimes the road will be just a little bit wide enough where you can kind of scoot over to let each other through.
Fold your mirrors in and pray.
But yeah, some of them were really scary.
And you were doing that by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
Well, I had my dog with me.
Yeah.
oh, excellent. You can certainly.
But
help
like
out.
you don't have. You've got the. How do you say it? Tepuy?
Tepuy, I think.
Tepuy. You have a
Tepuy.
Tepuy tent on the roof, and then you don't run sways for articulation.
Yes.
So like, you get a little bit of body roll in that thing.
Yeah, that didn't worry me too much, though. It was mostly just I didn't want to like dunk a wheel off the side.
Yeah. And then
And soft shoulder would be end of
Yeah.
your
now is that. So these passes, like, what were they cut by? Like settlers or something trying to get across the west? They go over the mountains.
A lot of them were for mining,
Okay.
especially Imogene. Like I did it from east to west, or kind of east to southwest. And once you get when I was going down, it was all old mines.
Okay.
So there's still like just remnants of buildings, and there's mine shafts everywhere. So you kind of have to be careful.
like just open mine shafts.
They had like chain link fence laid over them, but I mean that's not stopping a truck if you
No,
cross.
It probably wouldn't even stop like me if I walked over it.
No, probably not. Like I got out at one point and I wanted to like look around and take pictures of the mines. And then I saw like a huge mine shaft, and I was like, I'm just going to get back in case, there's one opening up underneath me.
Yeah, it could be a collapsing
Yeah.
shaft underneath or something. Then that would be the end of Jordan.
So like I hear about, was it Engineers Pass? Is that one?
Yeah, I
too?
did that one too.
Okay. So that's like just different passes that go over. Which one did you say you told me went over the Continental Divide? One of them, right?
A couple of them I went across it a few times. The one that I stopped at to hang out for a bit was Monarch Pass, which was basically just like a pretty tame dirt road.
Kind of like a touristy one to say you went over the Continental Divide.
Yeah, like I saw like stock Subarus on like all seasons on a few of these.
Yeah.
So they're not all super tough.
Yeah. But it's basically like the Continental Divide is the point where rivers run either east or west.
Yeah,
Like if they
to
start.
the Pacific or the Atlantic.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
With the river that goes one way or the other, you mean from there?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know it worked
Yep.
that way.
Because it's like the peak of the middle of the continent.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
I was unaware.
The
of
farthest
exactly
west
what it
I've
meant.
ever driven in a car was Austin, Texas. So
You've driven out west, but you flew there first. and drove your car out
that's the
there
farthest I've driven.
from the east.
Yeah.
Not
Like-
quite to the Continental Divide.
No, not quite. Yeah, because some of that driving, the middle part of the country is the reason why they're flyover states, right?
Oh
They're
my God, it's brutal.
It's like,
Yeah, once you got to Colorado, it was awesome, but the trip there was kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys booked it out there.
Well, yeah, we did it straight.
well, you had two people to.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
had two people on the way out, and
You don't need to have two people, but one of you works a day shift, one of you works a night shift.
Right.
So,
So
when you're driving,
it
one of you
worked
could
out.
drive the day shift, one of you could drive the night shift.
Yep.
And you made it halfway across the country in like 30 hours.
yeah, it was like 32 hours or
Yeah,
something.
more than halfway across the country, actually.
Yeah.
3/4 of the way across the country. So that's booking it out there, but you drove home by yourself, so it was probably a little
Yeah,
more.
that was rough.
Yeah, but it's also like kind of. I find it relaxing, to be honest with you.
It was mostly like relaxing. A lot of like just why am I still doing this?
Okay.
And at one point,
that.
I was in Iowa at like 9 p.m. and I was going uphill. Like I had my cruise control on for like 7 hours.
Yep.
And my check engine light started flashing, which I think means like you're dumping fuel into the cat.
I don't know. Flashing in it is not good.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, but the car felt fine.
Yeah.
So I ended up stopping at a rest area, but I think it was just a combination of like the humidity and a lot of the gas stations out there had like really shitty like 85 octane.
Whoa.
Really?
Yeah. So I think it was just bad gas. Because after that day, it didn't happen again.
Yeah. I could see that. So what route was it? 80?
Yeah, it was I-80 like all the way to Pennsylvania or something.
Yep. And then that 80 across Pennsylvania is wicked long.
I think I jumped on 90, but I mean, it's still...
It's super long. I know 40.
Having driven 80 across Pennsylvania, I feel like I've driven to California from the East
40
Coast.
across
So long.
Tennessee. Oh my God, is brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nebraska was the worst, I think.
And I was doing, this is years ago, so whatever. I was doing like 85 in the Gallant across I-40, and it's just like, ugh, it's forever. And it's weird too when you cross the signs when you cross time zones. Did you notice this? They usually signs on the highway.
Oh no, my fancy boy new truck told me on the nav that I was changing time zones.
Yeah, I mean, I have an in-dash nav set up in the Gallant, and yeah, you'd watch it change. The time would change. So that was kind of weird.
I don't think I've ever driven across the time zone. So other than when we were in Arizona, and that weird time zone change.
Oh yeah,
that was pre in-dash GPS.
Yeah,
days.
when you're in when you're October in Arizona, they are not on daylight savings time, and everybody else is.
Right, so you went over this like into an Indian territory.
No, but you could walk
changed.
on the Hoover Dam between the two time zones.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah, it's wicked weird.
But then there was another change too with like Indian reservations, wasn't it? Like they were also different.
Yeah,
so, like, this part of town.
I think they could do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, but but Tennessee is in two time zones because Knoxville is Eastern, and then you pass through Knoxville and you're in Central. Mm-hmm. And then I think I managed to stay in Central all the way through Texas, and then you'd have to get to New Mexico. I think you get to Mountain Time. So that was weird.
So how did the truck perform other than that one little hiccup?
Mostly it was pretty great. I was like super stoked on how well it handled all the like really big rocks and stuff on Imogene Pass. Like I passed some guys in a Tacoma that slid off the side and were kind of belly on the edge, and they were
like the part you could fall down a cliff.
No, it wasn't that bad. Like,
okay,
it was just sort of like it wasn't steep enough at that point that like it was going to be a big deal. They were just sort of high centered, and they had no idea how to use their winch. And I don't know. I've only used my old winch once, so I'm not really an expert, so I couldn't help them.
Oh, you didn't pull them out with like a snatch strap?
No, I wouldn't have done anything. They were like laying the entirety of the truck's frame on the rocks.
Yeah, that's not good.
It was just a single truck.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they figured it out.
Yeah. There were a couple of people on like UTVs that stopped to help them, but they didn't know how to use the winch either. So
I feel like that's an important thing to practice before you go out.
Yeah.
If you own the winch, you should probably know how to use it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just like in and out.
Well, a lot of people buy winches as like a glamour mod, I think, and then don't.
Yeah, was it a
learn how to
Harbor
use them.
Freight winch?
I don't know. I didn't really see it.
Harbor Freight winch, the Warren sticker on it.
They were like standing in front of it with like a big manual, and I was like, "Oh, well, good luck." And I just kept going.
Yeah, you're not dead, so
Yeah. It was like pretty close to the bottom, so it wasn't a big deal.
Just push the truck over the edge and walk down the bottom.
did the elevation bother it?
Yeah. When I was in like 4 low, it wasn't a big deal, but I could really tell going through like some of the mountain passes on like paved roads, like going uphill, I would have to be in like 4th or 3rd to really get anywhere.
On a paved road.
Yeah.
So when you're on like the rock sections, you're probably in 4 lows. You didn't
When 4
Yeah.
low, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, Andrew and I have experienced elevation issues in a car before, so
Yeah, I was actually
we
thinking.
certainly know what it's like.
Oh yeah.
We almost got flattened by an 18-wheeler.
Yeah, that was a 2.5 Altima
2.5
CVT.
Ultima was a CVT rental car, and we were down by the Grand Canyon.
Oh, you're at 5,000 or 6,000 feet,
Yeah.
wherever that we were at that point.
And I had been driving the car all day, and it was fine. And then I hadn't accelerated hard
not even
since
been
the
higher.
morning. And we stopped and got gas, and I had to accelerate back into the highway. And I was like, oh, there's plenty of room before this oil truck comes here. And I pulled out in front of him, mad at the throttle, and the guy was just like, bleh.
Yeah.
And the guy was on our bumper, leaning on the horn. It was not pretty.
The only other mechanical issue was I ended up losing the inner CV boots on both front axles.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the OEM boots were designed when I did the lift. The fins on them rubbed together too hard, so eventually they just came apart once I started wheeling.
I guess that kind of jumps into the next question we have here.
Yep.
You visited Nistec,
Yes.
who is the company that made the lift that you installed.
Yeah, they're a Nissan suspension company, and they make they have a couple of in-house shocks, which I have up front.
Yeah,
Right.
front of their bespoke
and then
stuff.
they sell like a lot of different kinds of shocks and springs and
But
leaf
did
packs.
they help you with your axle issue?
Yeah, so they brought it into their shop to look at it, and I guess
Because they happen to be in Colorado.
yeah, they're in Denver.
Well, that's pretty neat because I mean, it's certainly like research for them to see, like, what went wrong with the 2015 one.
Yeah,
Apparently-
because they said they'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
Like they get it on trucks with like 150,000 miles where the boots just wear out, but they'd never seen it on like such a low mile truck.
Yeah.
So they must have Nissan must have changed the suppliers or something with their axles for the 2015
That
because
definitely
they
happens.
rubbed way harder than I guess any of the older ones ever did.
Yeah, because I think they to say in the directions that it will just wear in and then it'll be all set.
Yeah.
But apparently it's just kept wearing.
Yep.
So
Yeah. They
Were
eventually just
they
came apart.
surprised to see a customer from New Hampshire rolling into their shop?
They weren't surprised. They thought it was cool, but I mean, it
Probably
seemed like
happened before.
it seemed like they're like overall. I saw so many trucks built for like off roading out there from all over the place.
Okay, it's just a destination for an off-roader to go to.
Yeah, and like, man, it must have been like 1 in every 4 Tacomas had like an ARB bumper on it.
Which is cool.
Yeah,
Like, if you fit in, those are your people.
yeah.
So you don't see that out here as much, obviously, because people out here are lame.
So other than the axles, was there any other mods after doing this trip that you want to do to it?
The only one that like really stuck out to me was I need some like really nice driving lights
Yeah.
because it gets so dark out there at night.
And there's absolutely zero light pollution.
Yeah, so like sometimes we had a hard time spotting like campsites on the side of these trails.
Okay.
So you'd almost like those, what do they call them? The lights on the cowl panel on top of the fenders. There's a name for those lights.
Well, even if
Oh
you,
no, just like something on the bumper that
Even-
throws a lot of light would have
Okay.
helped.
even if you had a handheld spot for when you're looking,
Yeah,
and then I mean, I was looking into now there's knockoffs of those ARB lights with the red ring, and you can get them on eBay for
Oh, yeah.
fairly inexpensive. They just say HID instead of
yeah, with
ARB.
like the same font.
Yeah,
They're kind of
but
ugly, though.
they're not
They wouldn't look good on your
super
truck.
ugly.
No, I probably
Well, there's
go with something
there's the
square.
LED ones, but then they also make a xenon one, which looks like a traditional light
Okay.
that I would prefer because LEDs don't throw off heat,
Mm-hmm.
which will ice up in the wintertime. So you want to use something that
Did we
throws
talk about
heat.
that before? How did the manufacturers get around that?
I looked into that. So an OEM headlamp that uses LED bulbs, because LEDs don't throw heat, but the circuit boards behind LEDs will throw heat. So they use
Little fans.
little fans to circulate that hot air into the lens to keep them from icing over.
It seems like such a complicated solution to changing a bulb.
It
to
does.
LED.
Yeah.
The LED will last a lot longer.
It
though.
will.
Yeah, well, but the electric motor that keeps the thing not defrosted
That's
won't.
true.
Yeah. It just dawned on me one day when I was looking at like doing some like repair information. I was like, wait a minute, LEDs don't put out heat. And I like thought of it like you don't think of it if you live in a cold weather climate. If you live in a
Warm
warm
weather
climate all the time, but you're like when you're in the wintertime here, you come out, your headlights are never frozen over because they're wicked hot.
Yeah,
So,
they're burning hot. In fact, some melt even in the wintertime.
Yeah.
See, melted headlights
so
from being too hot.
but I don't know. I guess so. Other than that, their suspension worked pretty good because we talked about installing that.
Yeah.
It's like Bilsteins and the lift shackles with the add a leaf.
Yep. Yeah, it worked really
Their
great.
coilovers. Yeah.
I had a lot of travel too. Like
Yeah.
you could tell when I was going through like some boulder fields, like none of the wheels were coming off the ground or anything.
Did you go through boulder fields that like we avoided out here on purpose because you didn't want to go through them?
Yeah, you don't have a choice on some of them.
Okay, but it was
Which is kind of nerve-wracking when you're by yourself.
yeah, especially we haven't really done many of that,
Yeah.
that stuff because you kind of went from like not a lot of hardcore trails to 2 hardcore trails
Yeah.
without any practice in between.
I know you sent us a picture of your frame rails where the tires are rubbing.
Oh, yeah, that's just because the oversized tires. When
Yeah, you get 33s.
Yeah, when you stuff them all the way up in there, they rub against the frame.
I guess there's some things you just can't
Yeah, it's fine.
change.
We'll just,
You get a deal with
before
it.
the snow flies, I'll paint them.
Undercoat them a little more and call it a day.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So suspension worked good. The people at NISTAC were probably pretty cool to work with.
Yeah, they were
Meeting
great
them.
guys.
Yeah. So
They were actually packing up to go to this big Nissan wheeling event in Tennessee this week,
okay.
which I thought about going to, but I don't want to like overdo it and then come home and do VOR immediately.
Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. it
It's
is.
actually like that part of the country right now is probably going to be very soggy this weekend.
Oh yeah,
in
Yeah.
Tennessee. So
That's true. I probably got kind of miserable down there this
Yeah.
weekend.
maybe. Mud's fun though.
Yeah, that's true. And there's enough people there to help get if you're stuck or something.
Yep.
So now, does NISTAC just do exteriors, or do they also do Frontiers?
Yeah, they do Frontiers, Titans.
Old Pathfinders, or just new stuff?
They will probably do Pathfinder stuff.
Okay.
there must be old Pathfinders out there. They must not
There's
rot.
actually a lot of first-gen Pathfinders out there,
Yeah, 'cause they
and
don't
the
use
Isuzu
salt
Troopers.
in Colorado, right?
I think
As far as I know, they don't.
No, I think they use like that ash stuff.
The volcanic
or something.
ash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's where my '89 Montero originally came from.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of cars come from Colorado because it's nice out
Yeah.
there.
There was a lot
Temperate.
of old Troopers and Pathfinders. I only saw 3 Monteros.
I was going to say, our audience wants to know how many Monteros did you see?
I saw 2 first generations ones and a second.
Okay.
But the second was in Aspen and looked like it was just a grocery getter because Aspen is like the
yeah,
most bougie
Most
place
of them,
ever.
most of them are, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So they don't generally go off road. Exciting news. I sent Andrew a link the other day. They just released a 1/35th scale full RC rock crawler Montero second generation.
yeah,
Which one of us needs to buy now.
yeah, maybe.
Well, I'll definitely eventually own it.
Well,
So-
anyway, the other reason why I went to Colorado was because they have a lot of good breweries.
Yes, they do.
Actually, the main reason was the wedding, I think. We go back to the first question.
Yeah, I guess the main
Why'd you go to
reason-
Colorado? Because my friend's brother was getting married.
I went to Colorado for the wedding, but I drove to Colorado because of the wheeling and
Yeah.
breweries.
Yeah, and I guess my other question was, what do you think the best beer was you had in Colorado?
Best beer was
You probably tried like 30 beers.
I had
30?
a lot of really really good beers, but the best one I had, which is going to be stupid because you can get it here,
Yeah.
but I went to the Left Hand Brewery and I had their Nitro Milk Stout on tap, and
like fresh nitro.
yeah,
you can't get it on
oh, it was
tap.
so good.
Like fresh from the brewery.
That was the best.
Yeah, it sounds lame until you think about it that way. Like, it's fresh out of,
Right out of the brewery, like
yeah,
on the other side of the
right
wall.
into a
Yeah.
nitro. That sounds delicious.
I had
And,
great.
and honestly, nitro, the nitro milk stout, even in the bottles, is a pretty good go-to for a stout, even out here. So
Yeah, it's one of my favorite.
I can imagine.
Oh, what else
that
did you tell us that
getting
they
it
had?
fresh
It's
would be
not.
awesome.
It's not beer, but it's like really crazy. It was milk.
Oh, the root beer milk?
Yeah, I never heard of this before.
Yeah. So we stopped at some random coffee shop, and the guy said something about what kind of milk I wanted in my coffee. And
Milk?
yeah,
Milk
I
from a
was
cow, please?
I was like, does he mean like chocolate milk or something? But
Yes, yeah,
no, there was a farm out there that made root beer milk, and it was amazing.
I'll have the milk steak, please.
Yeah.
So, is it milk that's carbonated?
No, it's not carbonated or anything. It's like
Because that sounds awful. Imagine having like carbonated milk burps. Oh.
it's like chocolate milk or strawberry milk, or if you're from the Northeast, coffee milk. It's just it kind of tastes like root beer, and it's like,
But it's
It's
milk.
got root beer flavor.
yeah, it's
in
not too sweet.
It. It's probably good flavor. I can picture the flavor.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm picturing it kind of like I'm thinking of like an orange creamsicle, but the root beer version of that. like that kind of a flavor.
Yeah, you get kind of like a little bit of a spice from root beer.
I don't want spicy milk, man.
No, not
That's
like
not
that.
bad description.
It's not like
It's like a warm, like
Tabasco milk.
Cinnamon, it's like a warm, like cinnamon type spice,
like a good spice beer.
It's a savory spice, not like a hot spice.
Yeah, it was really, really good, and I wish we had it out here.
Can you get it shipped anyhow?
I already looked.
Can't do it.
No.
It's like a powdered
It's hard.
mix.
I thought about stopping in there on my way home, but it probably wouldn't have survived the drive.
I probably would have. You have the fancy cooler.
Yeah,
You've been all right.
I didn't want to risk it.
I mean, it's something that I'd like to look into getting because it sounds interesting. So,
Yeah, I'm tracking down a few local leads.
all right.
We'll see how it pans out.
You stay on that, sir. Good detective work. See what happens. Yeah, I'd like to try that because I don't know. I'm not a milk fan in general, but I do like strawberry milk
Yeah, it was really good.
because I'm 12, obviously.
I've had banana milk. That's good too.
Yeah, you know what's not good?
What?
Coconut milk.
No,
It's not milk; it's juice.
It's gross.
oh. Like, okay. No, I'm thinking like, see, almond milk with coconut flavor is really good.
Probably, but that coconut milk stuff is pretty awful.
I like it.
We also learned about rice milk when we were in Maine last.
Yeah, like a horchata is rice milk.
I didn't know it. Never heard it called rice milk before.
Like I like
Friend of the show, Joe and I were in a grocery store.
Yeah.
And they had a sign in like aisle 5. It was like rice milk was a sign. Like in this aisle, you can get all these different items, and one of the items is rice milk.
Yeah.
So we're like, does that mean like rice and milk are in this aisle? It can't be because there's no coolers and there's no rice.
And there's no comma.
Right, it was just rice milk.
Yeah.
So we walked down the aisle and we couldn't find rice milk. So we asked the employee of the store, or Joe asked the employee of the store, what is rice milk? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, well, it's on the sign. It's got to be important. It's got to be in this aisle. So now the employee of the store and me and Joe are looking for rice milk. Then a second employee comes over and looks for rice milk. Then a third employee, who's like a shift manager, comes over and he's like, I don't know what rice milk is. I'm going to take down that sign because we clearly don't have it. So like 15 minutes goes by. We're in line ready to check out. And we only really went there for like beer and chips and ice. We're in line waiting to check out, and that assistant manager guy comes running up to us. Guys, I found the rice milk. I got to put the sign back up. And he brought us a thing of rice milk. I had no idea it was a thing.
Yeah. That's what horchata is made from.
Well, horchata is delicious, so now I like rice milk.
And to me, horchata tastes like the milk that comes out of the bottom of your Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's
So-
super
yeah,
sweet. Yeah,
close.
that's a
Yeah,
good-
it's
that's a
super
good
sweet, but it's that
definition.
savory, cinnamony, sweet flavor. So,
Yeah, that's a good definition.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, horchata is delicious, and if horchata is rice milk, I fully support rice milk
it's-
now.
yeah, it's
and
not
I'll
dairy.
go back to that store in Maine and buy some rice milk. Does just straight rice milk taste like horchata?
No, it's spiced.
No,
That's what makes it
no,
horchata.
upset.
Just
Is that
go to
booze in it too?
no.
No, horchata. Well, you can get horchata with booze in it.
Yeah.
but I think a traditional horchata
Just go
has
to
booze in it.
a
only have
taqueria
booze.
and they'll have horchata.
Horchatas. Yeah, they sell it with like the teas and stuff. And there's an Indian version of it as well. If you go to like a curry restaurant.
Yeah,
they have
what
a
is that called? It's really good.
It's delicious, delicious.
Oh man, I can't remember what the name of it is. It's almost orangey.
Yeah,
It has more of a floral flavor. Not like an orange like fruit. It's
I
like
don't know.
orange in color.
yeah. It's definitely not orange fruit. It's definitely like a spiced flavor as well.
no.
It's delicious.
Anyway.
Man, this has gone way off the rails.
Good milk talk, guys.
It's all good. It's why it's
milk.
auto off topic. We don't have to talk about just cars. We get audience that doesn't even like cars, really.
Nope.
You know? Some
Anyway,
people, for some reason, just listen to us talk about milk.
the final question I said,
terrible choice.
does being back in New England make you feel closed in? Which I think we kind of covered that because it's like,
But does it?
not as open?
I mean, I haven't really. Coming here was the first time I left my house since I got home. But I got stuck in traffic on the way here,
Yeah.
and it made me really upset. So yeah.
Well, that's just Peabody, man. That's
No,
just,
it wasn't. It was like
on the highway.
I-95.
Yeah.
It was
not
just
rush
ugh.
hour at 95.
Yeah.
it's just awful. Sorry to hear
But
that.
so the next thing we've got is my wedding and then VOR.
Yeah, so all Auto Off Topic fans show up for Andrew's wedding.
There's there's the wedding and then there's a rallycross and then VOR.
I'm pretty- are you doing the rallycross?
I'm registered. I need to fix the car and
All right.
get it
Well,
inspected.
when do you want to fix the car?
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow's tough.
I
All right,
know.
we'll still talk about this out there.
I was just joking because you guys have to work and I still don't.
Oh, you're talking during the day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, tomorrow.
I know, but I literally
But
don't.
possibly
Go visit my dad.
Yeah, honestly, you probably could go visit his dad tomorrow. Who'll
Yeah,
be,
I'll
Might
hang
make
out
me
with
move some
Tony.
stuff.
he'll be
but-
sitting in the garage, hanging out.
Yeah, but he
Nothing to
can't. He can't weld because
He
like
can
the
show you
gas.
how to do it.
No,
No,
but
it's not that hard.
Oh, I suppose.
Do it up. Go down there. I can
Or
swing by eventually.
we'll look at it. I got to do some stuff over there Saturday morning. I do oil changes anyways.
Okay. Well, nobody
yeah,
in our
I'll do
audience
that in my
cares
truck,
about
too.
our schedule for the next 3 days, so we'll take this off the air afterwards.
Anyway, you should please rate and review our podcast on iTunes. That will help us out in the ratings. You can follow us on Facebook, Auto Off Topic Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Auto Off Topic. You can follow me on Instagram at Race and Anger. You can follow Brad at
ESISS350. I like how I make fun of myself now when I say these things.
I mean, you could just change it.
I feel like
It's
I
like too
can't
late now.
really change it. I do want to bring up a local car show that's put on by a friend of mine.
Go ahead.
It's October 11th.
Okay.
It's in Swampscott, Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's a pretty good local show. I don't remember what charity it is, but it goes to a charity, the Swampscott Recreation Department,
All right.
which is for the kids, obviously. It's the October 11th, the 5th annual Swampscott Classics by the Sea. It's actually right off the main drag on the ocean.
It's on Lynshore Drive.
It's called Lynshore Drive, yeah. So if you're anywhere near here and you're around on October 11th, it's a really fun show because it's at the beach and it's a really good view and there's a lot of really cool old cars come out there. It's not like auto off topic kind of cars. It's more classic American cars, which we appreciate and don't talk about enough. So maybe we'll start talking about them a little bit more. But a really good friend of mine puts the show on. It's for a good cause and it's a really good time. So October 11th, Swampscott, Mass.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then if we've got some, we'll look up some other stuff. There might be Japanese Car Day coming up in October. We'll check that out.
Yes, Japanese Car Day is also coming up.
If we don't know it, we'll look it up for next
look it
time.
up later on.
So if you want to, Jordan, if people want to look up your stuff on Instagram,
It's just at Ditch Hookers.
okay. And I know there's some pictures from Colorado in there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff from the trails and weird oddities.
All right.
The next local show we really plan on being at, there's two that I plan on being at.
Yeah.
October 8th is Transporter Fest,
Okay.
which is Volkswagen show at Museum of Transportation. And
What are you bringing there?
I'm not bringing anything there. I'm just going to go and hang out with Volkswagen friends.
Okay.
I'd like to bring the NSU, but the car hasn't moved since 2009.
Yeah,
so
it's
it's
probably
probably
not
not going to happen. And then Japanese Car and Motorcycle Day is October 15th.
Okay.
So we'll definitely be there for that as well. So the 8th is the Volkswagen, air-cooled Volkswagen show at Museum of Transportation.
Yep.
Then the 11th, which that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to be the 8th and one will be the 11th. I'm going to have to go back and check these dates. All right. Forget that I told you that show was on the 11th. I just looked up the wrong date.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go double-check what day that is. So
If there's a link to it on the internet,
I will
link,
post
link
it.
it to the Facebook
Yes.
page.
Yes. Sorry, everybody just listened to me give the wrong date for that car show. That was the Facebook page from 2015 show that I pulled up real quick.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Well,
Oops.
anyway, with that, keep your cars analog.